All right. So we are going to finish up these last few and change it a little bit up so that we are not using e's, which is no big deal. But there you go. So if, why is this blurry? Focus. Focus. Okay. So if my u is x plus 8, then my du would be 1 dx. So again, I know that there's an issue here because of this x. Okay, hang on. Why will you not focus? Focus. There we go. All right, so that leads me down the path of using integration by parts. So I need a u, I need a dv. When I find my u, I'll take its derivative. When I find my dv, I will integrate. So take the easier looking portion, which will be x, and take its derivative, which will be 1 dx. That leaves me with x plus 8 to the negative 3 halves dx. And I don't need to balance anything because the derivative of the inside is just 1. So I can just use power rules. So the integral of this part will be x plus 8 to the negative 1 half because you increase by 1. So x plus 8 to the negative 1 half over negative 1 half, which is times negative 2. Okay, so now I've completed that part. So I've got uv, so negative 2 times x plus 8 to the negative 1 half, times the minus the integral of v du. So minus a negative will turn plus 2 times the integral of x plus 8 to the negative 1 half dx. So again, I don't need to balance anything. I just dive straight in. So the integral of x plus 8 to the negative 1 half will be x plus 8 to the positive 1 half divided by 1 half would be times 2. So that's going to turn into a 4, and everything else will stay the same except for that'll turn positive. So I have a negative 2x times x plus 8 to the negative 1 half plus 4, okay, times x plus 8 to the positive 1 half plus capital C. Okay, so bits and pieces. All right, we've got x, the integral of x, times x plus 8 to the negative 2 dx. So again, plain substitution. The derivative of the inside is 1, so that x is pushing me towards integration by parts. So u and du, dv, and v. So what looks easier, the x or the x plus 8 to the negative 2? So x looks easier, his derivative is 1 dx. This becomes x plus 8 to the negative 2 dx, and then I integrate. So the integral becomes x plus 8 to the negative 1 over negative 1. So x plus 8 to the negative 1. And now I set it up again. So uv is going to be negative x. So negative x times x plus 8 to the negative 1 minus the integral. So minus a negative becomes plus of v du. So I'm going to rewrite this one so you can see where we're headed. If I've got an x plus 8 to the negative 1, remember if I increase, it'll be x plus 8 to the 0 over 0. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as a 1 over x plus 8. Okay? So that negative, drop the x plus 8 to the bottom, and then the whole thing is raised to the power of 1, which we don't care. Now, the derivative of the bottom, which is 1 dx, is in the top. Okay, so this is going to integrate to the natural log. So I've got negative x times x plus 8 to the negative 1 plus the natural log of the absolute value of x plus 8 plus c. Okay, one more. And we have, hang on, looking. All right, so I've got the integral of x times the square root of x minus 4. So the square root of x minus 4 dx. So I've got a u and a du, and a v, and a dv. So which looks easier, the x? Yes, it does. All right. So the derivative of 1x is 1 dx. So this part is going to be, remember, x minus 4 to the 1/2 dx. So I just rewrote it without the radical. Now I need to integrate. I don't need to balance anything because the derivative of the inside is 1. So I'm going to increase my exponent by 1. So I get x minus 4 to the 3/2 divided by 3/2 means times 2/3. Okay, so now what do I have? uv, so 2/3 x times x minus 4 to the 3/2 minus the integral, and I'm going to go ahead and slap that 2/3 out front, minus the integral of v du. So x minus 4 to the 3/2 dx. So again, I don't need to balance anything. The derivative of the inside is 1, so I just use power rule. So that's going to become x minus 4 raised to the 5/2 over 5/2 means times 2/5. So that is going to be 4/15. So I've got 2/3 x times x minus 4 to the 3/2 minus 4/15 x minus 4 to the 3/2 plus capital C. Okay, so that is our answer. And then we got one more section left. One more section. So that isn't, and I should probably tell you this. It gets a lot harder than this, but for what you're needing in a business aspect, you don't need to go all like scary math. Okay, so it can be intimidating as it is. So we're just going to leave it pretty straightforward. It can get where you have to do it 3 and 4 and 5 times. Okay, but we're not doing that. We're just keeping it basic. So I will see you in the last section.